next thing that I want to do in this kitchen is build a surround for the hood range vent. I never know what to call those things. The hood vent. Hood vent?
Range hood.
Range hood vent. I have to build the cover for that. And I'm going to be doing something very simple-ish for that. I'm not going to be doing a cupboard above the range because I just don't want to do one up there. And we are doing a ductless hood vent right now. And the one that we bought is convertible, so it can go ductless or it can go ducted if we ever decide down the road if we want to duct it. But we'd have to punch a hole through the roof to put in a vent. And we don't want to do that yet, but we have the option to do that later if we want to. It just recirculates the air and there's special filters you can buy. So anyway, I can just put it in this cavity here and it'll be fine. So I just need to build a box basically to conceal it and make it look nice. So the first thing I want to do is cut 2 pieces of plywood for the side walls of this cover. And those are going to go on either side of the cabinet here. I also have to fill in this little gap here. There's like a little bit of a gap between the edge of the face frame and the edge of the cabinet. But I think a piece of 1/4 inch plywood will fit perfectly in there and bring that edge flush. And then it's going to be covered anyway. So it's not really going to matter. Yeah. And I'm really not in the mood to cut today because I don't want to get sawdust all over me and it's snowing outside. I feel like I just want to be inside and cozy, but I just want to get these 2 pieces cut. If I feel ambitious after that, I may keep going, but for now I just want to get 2 pieces of plywood cut. I've decided to put the hood vent about 30 inches above the top of the range, and the manufacturer's recommendations were anywhere between 24 and 30 inches for an electric range. So I'm gonna go higher, I wanna go 30 inches. So I'll just measure up 30 inches from the top of the range. Here, hold this. See, this is where it's gonna get a little tricky because I need this to be level. Actually, I have an idea. Got ideas. Really gonna give me some trouble, ain't it? I wonder if I need my little laser level. Let me go find that. What turn? Oh. Just throw myself away. Oh, damn it. Did I just spin this?
How'd you do that?
Well, it's got a little pin that you can stick into the wall. It holds it in place for you. It just bent. I mean, it's just probably not gonna. Oh, there we go. It's done.
Really
Garbage.
nice.
Hey, will you make a little mark where that line is right there?
Why don't you tack it in, then put a little board across to it and see what you got.
How am I gonna tack it?
Or, you know what I mean?
Screw it in?
Yeah, screw it.
Okay. You're using new terms.
Hey, come on.
I'm gonna tack it.
Don't. What if I push on it so hard? I tore down the cover.
Ow, don't make me laugh. All right, I got 2 pieces up today. I need to put screws up there too. Oh, dang it. Oh, I need bigger screws. Crap.
Keep going.
Hey, don't be.
Here.
I know. I know how to use a drill. Okay, well, that's pretty good. All right, thank you. Your work here is done.
But wait, I've got more comments to make.
I know. That's why I'm relieving you of your duties. I use the same method to install a framing piece here, and I also put one here and one here, which are right along the edge of the opening for the hood vent. And that way, when I screw in underneath for the hood vent, I can screw into the stud. It'll just kind of keep this piece here on the bottom from sagging so that I can kind of screw through that into the stud once I put on the hood vent. Stick it from the bottom. There we go. Oh, there it is. Okay. See if I did this right. Nice. Wow, that's going to be such a difference.
Is that full? Go full bright. What's full?
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah,
What's the fan like?
it's loud. That's like the, oh, it's already sucking stuff up in there. Look at that. First of all, I want to say that it is so nice having light over the range. This is going to be a game changer for cooking because I have been struggling to see what I'm cooking because the light in here is just not great, but we're going to fix that. And before I put the front on this hood surround, I need to address the under cabinet lighting. So I've had a few people in the comments over the last several months emphasize how important under cabinet lighting is, and I 100% agree. And I've had these under cabinet strip lights since we basically moved into this house this summer. I bought them early on because I knew I wanted to put under cabinet lighting in here. I've been waiting for the right time to install them because there's other things that I have to get kind of ironed out before I could install the under cabinet lighting. Now, one of the things I had to kind of address before installing the under cabinet lighting was refining under the cabinets. So where the cabinets meet, I had these little, I guess, ridges where the sides of the cabinets met underneath the cabinet, and I really wanted that all to be flat and the same level because I think it'll just look a lot nicer. And I also want to fill in the under cabinet space with some veneer. This is going to cover all of the pocket holes that are under there and just make it look really nice and neat. I could have done veneer in each of the little sections under the cabinet, but I really wanted it to just be one big smooth surface when I finish. I think it'll just look so much nicer. So this morning I spent some time with the multi-tool, trimming out those little pieces of the cabinet that stuck down on the under cabinet side. I've learned a lot in the process of making these cabinets, and one of the things that I would change about how I made these, I would have thought a little bit more in advance and tried to eliminate those little ribs below the cabinet. But I could have made it flush with the bottom of the cabinet and then just had the face frame drop down that 3/4 inch, and that would have been fine. And so I've known that I wanted to kind of shave off those little pieces on the underside basically since I installed these. And I've been dreading doing it because I just felt like it was going to take forever, but it actually didn't take that long at all. It just took maybe 30 minutes to get all of those little pieces off. And it looks a little rough right now, but once I get the veneer on there, it's going to look really nice. I just bought some birch veneer from Home Depot. I did order this online. They didn't have it in stock at the store, so I just got a big roll of it, and I'm going to basically glue that to the bottom of the cabinet. I got this Gorilla Glue heavy duty ultimate construction adhesive, and it's supposed to be instant grab. So as soon as you put it up there, it's supposed to stay really well. So I'll use this basically like a liquid nails type application and apply the strips of veneer on the underside of the cabinet to make that really nice and smooth and finished. And then once all of that is done, I can actually start installing the under cabinet lighting. And the reason I need to leave the front off of this until after I get the under cabinet lighting installed is because it is an LED strip light, and I have these kind of spacer strips that can jump over appliances and stuff like that that are not lit. They can kind of connect to lit portions of that strip. And I need to put one through this enclosure here before I close it up. Ooh, this is hard to squeeze out. You want to squeeze this? It just hurts my hands. Ow, God. I couldn't make this a little easier to use, I guess. Sometimes these are just hard to squeeze out. Like that's like those GE brand.
I'll just leave a comment.
Yeah, please leave a comment on my technique. That would be awesome. What?
It's this.
Oh, well that makes a difference. It slipped out. There. Maybe that's what was going on. Oh yeah, that's a little better. See what I'm doing? I'm putting it up in the back corner first. Like, yeah. And just push it all the way to the back. Got it? And then let's roll it to the front. I don't know, let's just keep pressing it until it sticks. Instant grab my butt. Well, it's just gonna take a second. My side's starting to stick a little bit. All right, I'm gonna staple these. So I'm ready to start installing the under cabinet lighting system. I also bought these tracks to mount underneath the cabinet. So this will mount to the bottom of the cabinet, and then the strip lighting will go inside this channel, and then this little piece of plastic here will go over that to kind of diffuse the light and make it less harsh, but it'll also just look a little bit more professional. So I'm gonna install that now. And the installation process seems pretty straightforward. I just have these little clips that I attach to the bottom of the cabinet, then that track snaps into that, and then the cover snaps into that. So I'm gonna get the tracks installed first, then I'll start putting in the lighting and finish it off with the covers. There we go.
Anyway, you gotta use the ASEC. ASEC has a few more questions, I think. So.
Ooh, there's a big gap right there. All right. I have to put some caulk in there. Okay. I also put a little strip of trim here where I had two pieces of veneer that met up, and I made the mistake of trying to nail this with my nail gun and poked through the cabinet, poking a hole in my sugar. So, lesson learned, don't do that. So I'm extremely proud of the way that this under cabinet lighting looks. It is such a game changer in this kitchen, and I have just been standing here looking at the kitchen every day since I've done it. I'll just come and stand here and look at it for like 10 minutes. But I think today might be the day that we actually get to a mostly finished kitchen so that we can move on to some other projects, namely working on the bathroom in the basement, which is our next big project we're gonna be doing here on the channel. So I was kind of waffling back and forth about how I wanted to finish the range hood enclosure, and I wasn't sure if I wanted to do it as like permanently enclosed and not put a cabinet door on it, or if I wanted to put a door on it so that we have access to this space. Eventually we would like to make it ducted to the outside, but we're just not sure when we're gonna be able to get to that. So I don't really want this to look like a cabinet, and I don't really even plan to store anything in here, mainly because there will be air blowing into this space. It will be filtered air, but until we can actually duct this to the exterior, I don't really see myself putting anything in this space. But I do think it would be a good idea to make it accessible. I thought, I might as well just go ahead and make it a door. It's not gonna look like the rest of my cabinet doors, but it is going to be able to be opened up later if we ever need to get into this space. And then once we do punch through the roof, I can always use that piece that I made for the door as a permanent enclosure on the front. Just kind of reinstall it and finish it as I would if it was a permanent enclosure. So I'm gonna get started on that now. I've got some plywood out here. I'm actually gonna use the 1/2-inch plywood again for the front of this instead of the 3/4-inch plywood, but I am gonna be putting 1/4-inch trim on top of that to create that faux shaker look on the front of this, and we're gonna see how it goes. I'm also just curious to see how that plywood holds up as a door compared to the 1x3s that I used of the poplar for the other doors and the MDF that I used for the doors above the fridge. So it's a little bit of an experiment. So I'm gonna get started. Oh yeah, it looks really good over here. Okay. Camera died on me before I finished putting all these in, but I added these two pieces here, and I brought it inside to dry because we are having record low temperatures outside. It is freezing out there. Got a snowy day. Woo! Getting hot, hot, hot. I've decided to make this kind of a semi-permanent installation for the hood surround. I'm actually just gonna put some blocking in here that I can screw the door into, and then I'm gonna add trim. And the thinking is that it'll look nicer and more finished, but if we do need to remove this later, it'll be easy to take off that trim, unscrew the screw, and open this up and get access to this space. So the screw will eventually be covered because I'm going to add a shelf, like a stained wood shelf over that point. So you can remove the shelf, remove the screw, remove the trim, and then you can open up this door. All right, I am very happy to say that we are finally at a point where the kitchen is mostly done. There's still quite a few things I want to do in here. I feel like I say that all the time. I did end up building a little shelf to go on the front of the range hood, and I do want to put a shelf up there. But my original vision was to do a stained shelf. For some reason in my mind, I thought that was just going to look really good. Once I stained the shelf and put it up there, I had Alan hold it for me too, so I could step back and look at it. It just wasn't it. It wasn't the right feel for this space. So I think I am going to put a shelf up there that is a little like thinner and also paint it the same color as the range hood. I think that'll just look a little bit better. Maybe put some cute art or maybe a little flower, a little bud vase or something up there. I don't know. So if you have any ideas about that, let me know. But I was originally inspired by this image here for kind of creating a little shelf, a little kind of moment there. So I'm gonna think on that a little longer before I do that. It's just so nice to see it without any large gaping spaces in the kitchen now. And it definitely feels like a functional, great kitchen, and I love being in this space. The under cabinet lighting just adds a certain ambiance to the kitchen, and I have this under cabinet lighting on all the time. I just love having it on. I've also got a light here above the sink, and then obviously I have the light from the range hood, so it just creates a little bit more of a mood here and kind of lets the kitchen shine a little bit. It's almost like the jewelry of the kitchen or something. I don't know. It just gives it a little glow, which I love. And it's also functional. It provides so much more light for cooking, which I was missing so much in here, and it has made food prep and cooking so much easier and more enjoyable in this space now that I have a properly lit kitchen. Now I also still want to change the lighting in the ceiling. And if you'll remember, way back last summer, I scraped the ceilings. They were kind of like a stippled textured ceiling. I did scrape all the texture off the ceilings. I have not repainted the ceiling in this space yet because I want to change the lighting in here. I want to do some recessed down lights and potentially a drop lighting fixture to go over the island that will eventually be built for this space. But we have some attic stuff to do. I've mentioned that before. We do have some stuff that we want to do in the attic before I do all of that. So I'm kind of waiting to tackle that project. I did tidy up the kitchen quite a bit for the B-roll for this end footage. But for the time being, we've been using this old dining table that I thrifted a couple years ago as our island. And normally we have our dish drainer on the countertop and obviously dishes in the sink. There's some dishes in the sink right now, actually. So it is, a little bit more lived in normally, but that table has been a stand-in for our kitchen island. Really excited to get an island in here that is actually functional as a storage unit as well, and putting some drawers in there and having a little extra seating in the kitchen. So anyway, full disclosure, this is like really tidy right now, but it is very well lived in, very well loved, and I've been spending a lot of time in here. So we've definitely come a long way in here. Where this kitchen started is unrecognizable compared to what it looks like now. So anyway, coming up here on the channel, we're going to be sharing our bathroom renovation. We've got a bathroom in our basement that was partially finished when we moved in here. As of filming this, we are almost done renovating that bathroom. I've been filming that whole process, so I will be sharing that next here on the channel. If you enjoy these videos, please be sure to subscribe, hit that like button. It helps out the channel a lot. And thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. And I will see you guys in the next video. Okay, bye.